King Charles has a high opinion of his sister but not of his brothers, a source close to the monarch once revealed. Daily Express's royal correspondent Richard Palmer told how there is speculation that Charles is paving the way for disgraced Prince Andrew to return as a working member of the firm following his inviting him and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson to Balmoral Castle in Scotland this summer. However, the royal commentator said he believes there is no way back for the Duke of York, adding that he understood that the door was firmly shut several years ago. The King's 63-year-old brother was forced to step back from the spotlight following his disastrous Newsnight interview where he spoke about his friendship with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, yet Charles' low opinion allegedly dates back further. Mr. Palmer revealed that he did not see a future for Prince Edward and his wife Sophie, now the Duchess of Edinburgh, as working royals because the 74-year-old monarch did not have a high opinion of him either. Charles isn't kicking Andrew out of Royal Lodge to avoid looking vindictive. Speaking on the latest episode of the Daily Express's Royal Roundup, Mr. Palmer said, "My understanding several years ago was that the King really didn't see a future for Prince Andrew, even before the Epstein thing got out of control for him. The working family might well have been cut even before Andrew was forced into that position where he had to quit, really. Andrew was forced to step back from public duties in 2019, but the scandal has been bubbling along for some time. In 2011, he was forced to quit his trade envoy role after it emerged that he had visited Epstein in New York in 2010 after the financier had been jailed for sexual offenses. Even if he had a magic wand, Mr. Palmer does not believe Charles would bring his younger brother back into the working side of the family, as he has long held his brother in low esteem." Mr. Palmer continued, "I think somebody quite close to the King said to me a few years back that he's got a very high opinion of his sister, but not so high of his brothers." Before the working family was cut by other means, by Andrew being forced to quit and by Harry and Meghan quitting, I did think that Edward and Sophie were going to struggle to remain as working members of the family. But things have changed and they're a pretty key part of the team now, aren't they? The King's only sister has long been hailed the hardest working royal, as she frequently undertakes the most royal engagements out of all the working members of the firm. Last year, she surpassed the King, undertaking 214 in 2022 compared to her older brother's 181 engagements. The Duke of Edinburgh is now one of the most senior members of the royal family, but this has not always been the case. Don't miss: King Charles and Queen Camilla unveil next royal tour. Latest: Priti Patel apologizes to King after intervening in Prince Andrew's security row. Report: Royal Family website updated again just weeks after Prince Harry's title removed. Insight: during the late Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012, the father of two did not appear on the Buckingham Palace balcony. But for King Charles's coronation, he and Sophie were up front and center. The Queen's youngest son and his wife of 24 years previously had their own respective careers before they became working royals. However, their careers were controversial and, according to various reports, Charles vehemently disapproved of the couple using their royal status to further their prospects. Edward's TV company Ardent Productions performed disastrously financially. It reportedly stalked Prince William while he was at university, with the Duke attempting to get around a ban on filming his nephew. In 2001, Sophie was also embroiled in an embarrassing fake chic debacle where the Duchess was tricked into making indiscreet remarks by a News of the World reporter posing as a prospective client of her PR company, RJH. In the so-called Sophie tapes, the former Countess of Wessex described the Queen as an old dear, and then Prime Minister Tony Blair's wife Cherie as absolutely horrid, while also commenting on Charles and Queen Camilla's prospective marriage, a matter that was highly contentious at the time. Sophie had to write apologies to her brother-in-law Charles as well as the then leader of the opposition William Hague and Tony Blair, plus she was forced to resign from her PR firm. The Queen later paid them £250,000, said to amount to their combined yearly earnings, to step down from their companies and become working royals to support the monarch full-time.